Welcome to the umpteenth episode of this series of podcasts or audio videos on AI. We produced another episode of our AI comedy show yesterday, but now we are here today for more serious topics again. It is triggered by what happened on the tech markets in the past days. I invited two experts on the following themes: AI disruption, democratization, markets, and the future of work. So, let me get this conversation going with the big question. The headlines this week have been dominated by the AI-driven stock market crash, a trillion-dollar wipeout that's left many investors reeling. What do you think caused this seismic shift?
Okay, I will start talking, perhaps. First, thanks, John Louis. It is, without any doubt, a very fascinating moment in the history of developing artificial intelligence, and I am glad you are inviting us to exchange ideas about it. It is obvious that the open-source release of AI systems like DeepSeek completely disrupted the market. These tools are now accessible to anyone for free, or at a fraction of the cost of proprietary systems. That's great for democratizing AI, but a major blow to companies that rely on selling AI as a service.
Some might call this a victory for accessibility, but it's also a huge hit for the tech giants. They've poured billions into AI research. Don't they deserve to recoup those investments?
Sure, but this isn't the first time we've seen this pattern. Look at the internet, smartphones, or even the printing press. Early innovation is often driven by significant investment, but as the technology matures, it becomes more widely available, and that's when the real societal benefits emerge. AI is just the latest example of this cycle.
Fair point, but won't this crash discourage future investments in AI? Without funding, could we stagnate instead of advancing?
Not necessarily. I'd argue that we're approaching a maturity phase in AI. Instead of focusing on making AI smarter, we can focus on applying it to solve real-world problems: education, healthcare, environmental challenges. The innovation doesn't stop, it just shifts direction.
Let's pivot to the bigger issue on people's minds: jobs. Many worry that AI will replace human labor and drive large-scale unemployment. Is making AI a commodity a step toward easing those fears?
Absolutely. When AI is no longer monopolized by a handful of corporations, it stops being a symbol of capital versus labor. Instead, it becomes a tool anyone can use. It's about empowerment, not replacement. But there's a catch. We need to educate people to use AI responsibly, to see it as a complement to their skills, not a substitute.
That's easier said than done. Automation does devalue certain kinds of labor, and people feel threatened by that. How do we address those fears?
The key is democratization. When AI is tied to massive capital investments, it feels like a weapon of the powerful, something used to cut jobs and boost profits. But when AI is accessible to everyone, it becomes a shared resource. It levels the playing field, making it easier for small businesses, entrepreneurs, and even individuals to thrive in an AI-driven world.
Do you really think that by breaking AI's association with big capital, public perception is going to shift?
I would think so. When people see AI as a tool they can use, not something controlled by tech giants, it becomes less threatening. It's like the internet. At first it was dominated by institutions, but now it's a space for everyone. The same can happen with AI.
Let's talk about regulation. The EU's AI Act is an attempt to control this technology. But is it the right approach, or does open-source AI make regulation redundant?
Regulation has its place, but it's often captured by big players who write the rules to suit themselves. Open source AI bypasses that by decentralizing the technology. When everyone has access, the best regulation becomes collective oversight. Millions of eyes ensuring transparency and accountability.
Still, there's the risk of misuse. Bad actors with access to powerful tools could cause harm. How do we prevent that?
That risk is real, but the solution isn't locking AI behind paywalls or regulations. It's fostering a culture of responsible use, transparency, and collaboration. Open source communities thrive on accountability. If everyone's watching, misuse becomes harder to get away with.
Zooming out, do you think this stock market crash is just a temporary shock or a turning point for AI?
I think it is both. For tech giants, it's a wake-up call. The era of exclusive control over AI is ending. For society, it's an opportunity to rethink AI's role. This crash could be the moment when AI truly becomes a tool for everyone, a shared resource driving collective progress.
And what about the broader economy? Could this shift in AI's role blur the lines between capital and labour even further?
Absolutely. That's one of the most exciting possibilities. AI has the potential to empower workers, not replace them. It's not about eliminating labour, but augmenting it, allowing people to focus on creativity, problem solving, and innovation. If we get this right, it could redefine the relationship between capital and labour for the better.
That's a hopeful vision. Any final thoughts?
Just this from my side. AI is no longer about big capital or monopolistic control. It's about people. If we embrace its democratization, we can turn it into a tool for empowerment and progress. But that requires education, collaboration, and a shared commitment to using it wisely.
Well, that has been interesting. Thanks to you both for this quick comments. We sure live in interesting times. Let us keep thinking about how AI can be a force for good for everyone. Let's stay curious, stay informed, and stay engaged in shaping AI's future.
Thanks, Jean-Louis.
Thanks for having me too here, Jean-Louis. Let's keep this conversation going.